Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel for part 3 of the Raquel Leviss interview done with Bethenny Frankel on her podcast Just Be. Make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about this whole interview. It will be featured in my reaction commentary video regarding all 3 parts. Alright guys, I'm going to keep this nice and short because I want to get into it with you. So let's do it.
So I saw that there was a pill bottle thrown at the reunion, like made light of, somebody said, do you want a Xanax? I have a Xanax. And that was sort of made light of. And I sometimes think about that this is effectively, it's a non-traditional workplace, but I would imagine there are even some workplace rules in a strip club. Like it is still a workplace. And I thought, a pill bottle's being thrown. Wow, okay. And then I thought about, I read something where they said that, I read that Andy said to, I think, Variety, that he thought that you were medicated, that you were insinuating that you were on prescription drugs. So how did that make you feel?
I mean, I am medicated. I've been on antidepressants for several years now, and it makes sense looking back. It's probably around the time that I started filming Vanderpump Rules. But to say that I must be heavily medicated because my behavior was erratic or I didn't have emotions is not okay in my eyes. I feel like that violates some sort of HIPAA law. And to make assumptions like that, it's damaging to a person.
An employer cannot say that a person that works for them is medicated. I mean, I know that that's a private piece of information, whether it was true or not, or speculation. I just don't know where the line is. That's what I'm kind of, that reunion. And this is why people are saying to me, why are you doing this? Why are you biting the hand that feeds you? I'm the shining golden child that got out and made the money. Why am I? They would have had me back at any time to make millions of dollars to be on these shows. Yeah. Something about this jumped off the page to me. Like, this is where the line is crossed. And the fact that the viewers digested what was said to you that I just read, I don't think they really realized what they were digesting because it's become the norm now. I just think that the viewers just like in some hazy world where they think this is like real, but you're kind of these like circus character. You're like these characters, animals in a zoo that they don't really understand that you're a person and that was said to you. And that like, it's just like flippant talk about the medication. So after the reunion, Andy said she took it she took it all on the chin like a champ. She just sat there and took it. I didn't know that she would be able to, which is probably why I hypothesized. I didn't know how long Rachel or Raquel would last on set. Given my years of experience in these forums, I would have thought that she would have walked off way sooner and maybe walked into her car, never to be seen again. So
that's interesting that you say that, just because I did walk off stage and then he summoned me back.
That's what I'm saying. This is what so this is why it feels you're abused and you're told to fuck you with a cheese grater and 40 other things. And then hold on, come back. It's like, you were just abused by people, but we want you to come back for more. And then what I don't understand is I didn't know how long she would last on set. And I would have thought she'd walk off and went into the reunion. He said he went into the reunion worried for your mental health. And he said, I saw how unemotional she was, and it made me think like she was either really medicated. So it almost sounds like he was worried going in. I wonder, did anyone advocate for you to have like a mental health advocate on set or someone to protect you? Or
going into the reunion, it was promised to me that I would have a mental health advocate in my trailer as I watched the first 2 parts of the reunion, and then behind the scenes, just in case, for my mental well-being. And that was taken away from me.
Jesus.
the night before, like the day before the reunion. And I think it was a punishment because I did this, like, this paparazzi guy found me waiting to get my nails done on the sidewalk of the street, and I felt awkward being inside there. And I asked some of his questions. They were very basic. I didn't give away anything that the reunion was going to touch on. And I think the network saw that and was, I don't know, angry, disappointed, and punished me by taking away my mental health advocate.
Okay.
Oh, and then there's one more thing regarding the HIPAA situation. There was a, so it got out that I was at the Meadows for mental health treatment.
Okay.
And, sorry, one of my peers who recognized me when I came into the Meadows, was like, oh my gosh, Raquel, like, what are you doing here? And she was in for that duration of time. So she didn't know anything about the scandal, but she watched the show.
Okay.
And so I filled her in on the situation and the things that led me up to coming to get treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first week and her last week. That same day she left, there was news that I was at this place called the Meadows getting mental health treatment. And that was a violation of my privacy. And then, it got picked up. But then there was conversations of, oh, Raquel isn't getting treatment. She's at a spa. She's at Miraval. And
who said that? Castmates or
castmates,
or insiders in the press?
insiders, people who know for a fact.
Oh, okay.
And so that whole narrative was being pumped out there that I'm at a spa, and I had my team contact them saying, look, you guys know she's at the Meadows. We have the paperwork to confirm it. Will you dispel these rumors that she's at a spa? And they refused to do that, to keep this narrative going.
But being in a mental health facility and not getting that cleared up, you wanted them to say she's getting treatment, not at a spa.
Yeah.
Wow. And why wouldn't they?
They wanted to keep this narrative going. Like, it was more salacious for me to be at a spa than to be really reflecting on my actions.
So did anyone from Bravo reach out to you post-reunion out of concern, wanting to help you, wanting to pay for your treatment or check in with you, or even be worried that it would come down on them? Like, what was the reaction? What was their involvement, or what did they do? What have they done?
No, there was no check-in from anybody to see if I was okay, and just to, follow up. And unfortunately, I asked for my tuition, I guess, to be covered for my treatment, and they refused to pay for it. And I have a theory that is because if they paid for it, they would admit to this liability.
Yes, it's culpable. If you pay, then you're, yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. So there has been all this going around. People are, speculating that you're part of this reality reckoning. And there have been just whispers about you and I, very, very subtle, but we've done a very good job that no one knows we're here, which is wonderful. And thank you, everyone. But has Bravo been acting differently towards you since your name is in the mix and they're getting worried and they're getting legal letters and there's been a lot of very public?
Yeah. Just a few days ago, somebody reached out from the network and offered for security to be at my house where I'm staying with my parents. And it's a little too late.
Right.
All of the death threats were happening months ago, and you were aware of it, yet did absolutely nothing to protect anybody. And after that legal letter went out, all of a sudden they're offering services. So it's a little fishy.
Interesting. What's also interesting is that we watched what we just discussed as emotional abuse on the reunion, but what happens with the public? What about the messages and what have people said to you? I've seen merch sold, cups with your names on. So explain that world of hate.
Oh my gosh. I think the most disturbing thing, talking about the merch, is when I sent out that cease and desist from my litigator to all of the cast to not share the video that was taken without my consent. Lala decided to use that and be like, oh my God, don't contact me directly. Contact my attorney, Daryl. Like, have your people send it to my people, you dumb bitch, or whatever the heck her message was. And then she started making these sweatshirts that said, send it to Daryl. And I guess she has made enough for a down payment on her new house in Palm Springs.
Wow.
The same house that she bought out from under the rug because Brock was interested in buying that house, but it just happened so quickly. I don't know. The details don't matter, but it's like so many people are using this opportunity and this scandal to monetize for their own benefit. And I'm left here
broke.
And, you know, my name has been raked through the coals. I don't have business opportunities. My brand is shot.
Mistress.
Yeah.
At best.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of, did you actually receive death threats and online bullying? And
Yes. My parents received them more than I did. I shut off social media pretty early on, and thank God I didn't have my phone while I was in treatment. And, you know, we got the FBI involved because these things aren't okay. And I think people were seeing red and they were just like overcome with these emotions, but not thinking that this is a situation that isn't so black and white. And I'm really, really happy that I took the time to go to get treatment at the Meadows, because they did teach a lot about shame and carried shame, toxic shame, and what healthy shame is. And with all the vitriol online and hate that's been thrown at me, if I were to take that on as my own, I don't even know how I would survive.
Do you hold the cast responsible, or do you think they're just doing their jobs to make money?
That's a really good question. I think they're doing their jobs to make money. The girls' trip in Vegas was really traumatic for me. Obviously drinking a lot to numb my anxiety and awkwardness that I felt around these girls that haven't had the best history with me. And the following day, Lala and Christina Kelly came into my hotel room and they were like, oh my God, Raquel, that was amazing. Last night, you like reality TV rating goals. You killed it. Like, so funny. I can't believe you. Like, you're so, like, you did it. You're the best. And then as soon as cameras were on, it was like, Raquel, how could you? I can't believe what you said last night.
Oh.
And so that was already a mind fuck.
Right.
And I know that they're doing their job, and their job is to make ratings, to create something that people will be engaged with. And it's sick.
Before I want to just finish up with your future, but do we need to discuss this dog? Is this dog thing something that's relevant? Because it's a big question for people.
Did we already talk about it or no?
No.
Oh,
just
okay.
the dog, and then we're done in 2 minutes. I don't want to burn you out.
Okay. Yeah. So just really quickly, there's a lot more to the story. But Graham, oh my gosh, he has a history of aggression, and he's bitten me really hard. He's bitten other people. I already was considering getting a foster family while going into the Meadows and trying it out. But my dog Graham bit my mom. My dog Graham bit my mom's hand down to the bone, and it was so bad she couldn't even get stitches. And I had the decision to either leave the Meadows and go back and take care of my dog, or try to get him rehomed and finish out my treatment, because I knew I had more to work on. So I chose myself, and we researched a breed-specific dog rescue, and they took him in besides his biting behavior. And bottom line, he couldn't get rehomed. They reached out to Lisa Vanderpump to ask for a donation after they scanned his microchip and saw that he was my dog. It was supposed to be a confidential, anonymous.
Situation,
yeah,
right.
because it's nobody else's business.
Right.
And
that happens. Andy had a dog that was aggressive with the babe, and he was worried, so he had to give the dog away. Things happen with dogs.
Yeah, and there's a reason why I didn't want James to have Graham. He doesn't have dog experience, and he's part of the reason why Graham is a biter. James would encourage Graham to bite his hands hard, and he liked that sensation. So of course that trained Graham to be a biter. So to my surprise, people are like, oh my God, Graham's filming in Tahoe. And I thought it was a joke at first, and my heart dropped to my stomach. And there was a picture of James walking Graham, and I was like, no. Immediately, my mom called the foster who was working with Graham, and she said, oh, it's so lovely. Lisa adopted him. And we were like, what? It's just so sick that they're using Graham as a part of this storyline and to further this villain narrative of
That you
mine.
dumped your dog off.
Yes.
Oh.
So now the narrative is I dumped my dog at a shelter, and he was hours away of being euthanized. And that's not true.
Oh, okay. I got it. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. You got yourself into a whole
I know.
shitstorm. Jesus.
I know.
Okay. So what are your regrets? Like, what would you do differently?
I regret a lot. I would do everything differently if I had the chance to go back. And I really just want to acknowledge that a lot of people were believing in me, and I feel like I was a disappointment to those people. I know that there was a lot of trust that was broken between friendships and betrayal that happened. And I look back at my actions and I'm disappointed in myself as well. That is not the person that I want to be. That I wasn't happy. I was really hurting. I don't ever want to be in a place like that again. And I will make sure that I don't put myself in that position again. I think there is a silver lining in the situation, that I'm able to learn about myself and give myself this forgiveness, and hopefully share with other people the knowledge that I've learned, and help to broaden a perspective on all of these things that have happened and that I've experienced. And if somebody is going through a similar situation, that there's still hope.
That's powerful, honestly. It was all for something. It was not for naught. Yeah. I mean, it was a rough journey, but it got you to an awakening. Yeah.
Well, I needed to get caught. I needed to, because it would have just continued. And that's not who I want to be. This was the biggest wake up call for me.
Yeah. You hit rock bottom beyond.
Yes. Yeah.
So would you ever go back to reality television?
Oh, hell no.
Never.
No, because I refuse to not respect myself on that level where I would endure that emotional abuse any longer. I can't do that to myself.
That's a big statement because it's very tempting. Fame is tempting. Money is tempting. Chasing the dragon is tempting. That's a very big statement, because I would have bet that you would have gone back. And I'm actually proud of you. I don't even know you, but I'm proud of you because it's not as easy. You are in the spotlight. You could go back and redeem yourself and be famous. So you don't want that. And have they asked you to come back?
Yeah, of course. Of course they want me back. And I know that other people on the cast are more important than I am. So I don't even think that I would get a redemption arc, to be honest. I also know that I wouldn't be able to share all of my story. Whatever I share gets condensed to 5 minutes max. So I think knowing that there's different options for me and there's good that I can do.
You turn this into something positive.
Yeah.
In considering coming back, did you consider coming back at all?
Yeah, I did. I asked for equal pay with Tom and Ariana and for them to reimburse me for my treatment expenses. They refused to pay me equally. And, I was considering going back if I was going to be paid equally, because I feel like when you pay your employees, it really shows how much you value them in, the whole, whatever it is.
I get it. You feel like at least I took a hit, but
yeah,
but
exactly.
wow, they are proud of me for,
right.
It's like this love, because you said in your statement that you look for love and validation.
Yeah.
And I've experienced that. You want the network to give you validation,
right?
Which is crazy. And I get it, but I've been there where you want someone to say, oh my God, look what we did and look at the ratings. And their MO is to not let talent know how well things have been going, because then they would have to compensate them. So we used to not even get the ratings until I demanded, we need to see the ratings, because you're not supposed to know you're doing so well.
Right. But it's impossible to not know how well the show is doing,
right?
Because everyone's talking about it. It's everywhere. Scandoval is the most sensationalized piece of pop culture that I've experienced.
Yes, it's enormous. And the zeitgeist, it's been massive. It really has. So yeah, it's been a cultural phenomenon. And will you speak to anybody from the show? Do you speak to anybody from the show, or is that's the past and you want to move on?
I have a no contact policy with every single cast member.
Okay. Wow. I know you have a no cast call rule, but actually I did want to know this. I wanted to know if you think that they feel that they went too far, the cast, and if they are sorry.
Lala has reached out to me on Instagram saying that she's willing to lend an ear, and I don't know. I just don't trust that person. I know she has her own agenda. I'm sure she wants to create an alliance with me so she can take down Randall for being a narcissist. And that's her whole MO.
Has anyone asked you to come back because you'd be good for the show? So good for business.
Yeah, I've been asked back. The only reason why I reached out to Lisa is because I told her my concerns about Graham being in the care of James Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a phone call from her. I answered and explained that James isn't a fit dog parent.
Mm-hmm.
And she just was talking about the potential scenes we could film together. She was like, just come back for one final interview. You can come to Villa Rosa. You can apologize for leaving and disappearing. And and she didn't ask me how I was. She didn't ask me what I've been dealing with since the last time she saw me at the reunion. And she almost got me back because I did want to share my side of the story, like we talked about. And there was this fire lit beneath me because I was angry that Graham was being used as a pawn in all of this. And I really do feel like he was bait to get me back.
Oh, okay. And you never get the last word on reality TV. And have any of the other cast members asked you to come back?
Tom has emailed me twice. Lala wanted me back. Yeah. Lisa wanted me back. Yeah.
Does that feel confusing when everyone said we thought she would get in a car and leave never to be seen again? You know, even Andy saying like she took a beat down and she was, you know, mentally unwell, etc. And then like, is it strange that the same venue that would put you in that position, and I'm saying you're taking accountability and you definitely contributed to it, but that same place that may not be the best space for you or safe, that you went into a facility for 3 months of your life, is asking you to come back. It's like when you were on the reunion, like, hold on, come back after you just, you know, were.
Yeah. Actually, it makes complete sense because they have ulterior motives. They don't care about my well-being. They care about their narrative that they need to portray on this show.
Well, it's going to be a very interesting show and season for them. It's going to be wild to see. And I'm sure they're going to have a real opinion about this conversation, lady. So this is the new you. I mean, you have a new chapter ahead of you. And what do you want to do now that you've grown up?
I really am impassioned by learning about myself and the psychology behind all of this. And I am taking the steps to start my own podcast.
Nice. Okay.
I feel like it would be a great way to share my side of the story and bring on experts that really understand the psychology
like
behind
a self-help.
Yeah.
So we should talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like, you know, this is a area that's untapped because nobody really wants to talk about being the other woman. And for as many people that are hurt by this affair, there's equally as many people that have been
the other person. If you have, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If there are that many affairs, somebody's the mistress or the mister.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's very remarkable that you want to do a podcast and not just go dip back into the garbage. Like, you'll talk about the garbage. I'm sure you have a voice. We've been speaking for almost 2 hours. And do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to be in a relationship? Like, where are you in that area of your mind? I
would love to have a healthy relationship, but right now I am nurturing my houseplant and, you know, still healing myself so I can break these patterns that I
cycle.
keep.
You want to break the chain and you want to have a good relationship with yourself.
Yes.
First.
Yeah.
So where will you be living? We're in Arizona now. I flew to come see you, which is there's no precedent for that. I have not done that. I really was feeling for you and not wanting to travel. And I thought, let me really have compassion and come to where you are so you feel safe, because I know that it was hard for you to talk to anyone. Yeah. And I was worried that you might get cold feet. You know, you came in very strong and very confident today and very together, which I didn't know if you'd be fragile or a mess or so. Where will you be going from Arizona?
I'm going to be traveling around. I'm not headed back to LA anytime soon. Okay. So I have some plans to check out different states and different areas.
Oh, nice.
So it's unwritten at this point, but I'm excited to start this new chapter in my life.
A new journey, literal and figurative. Well, if you want to come visit me in the Hamptons, I'm right near the beach. So I just want to say thank you for trusting me. I mean, I give you a lot of credit for really staying quiet. It's very difficult to do that because you want to get your thought out, your word out. You want to correct everything that's wrong. And you took months to really just allow for it all to settle. And when you don't know what to do, sit still. And you did sit still. And now you got is there anything we didn't cover? Were you able to get your entire story and your whole voice out today?
I think that whatever we didn't get to, which there's so much that goes on behind the scenes and what happens internally, even that.
Save it for your podcast.
Exactly. We'll get there.
Save it for your podcast. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Well, that's it for all 3 parts of her interview that she did with Bethenny Frankel. I'm going to just touch base on just parts of this podcast real quick, but stay tuned for my reaction video where I will be taking clips. I will give my commentary about how I feel about certain things that she has said, along with different comments left on all 3 parts here on my channel, as well as other places, what people are saying regarding this interview. I do know that Lisa Vanderpump has talked to TMZ about certain things that she has said, and I do have that video, and that will also be included in that reaction video that I am doing. But really quick, let's just touch base on different things that she talked really quick on part 3. So Bethenny Frankel brings up the whole Xanax, with it seeming like she thought it was offered to Rachel, though it was between Schwartz and Sandoval. And a lot of people actually related to that scene and to that moment, and how Schwartz kind of normalized it's okay to take medicine and ultimately have it help you when you are in situations like this and you have anxiety and things like that. Then Bethenny briefly discusses what Andy had said regarding Raquel in a podcast and how she didn't seem herself and seem medicated. I will be looking for this for the reaction video so we can really see what Andy said. Rachel then says she believes she was punished because she was spotted by TMZ the day before and answered questions about what was going to be happening and all of that. And she believes that the day of the reunion, she was punished, and that's why they took away her mental health advocate. I just want to say it was confirmed that she was the one to call TMZ to let them know that she would be there. And I will be looking into this as well to give more details for my reaction video. Then Rachel claims that Bravo kept the narrative going, that she was at a spa and not a mental health facility. Rachel claims Bravo never checked in with her at the facility, and she asked for them to cover the expenses, but they didn't. She believes they didn't because it would prove damages. Then Rachel talks about Lala Send It to Daryl merch and how it was used to put a down payment on the house she bought in Palm Springs. She also claims that Lala took this house from under the rug of Brock, who was interested in buying this home to begin with. I am going to talk a little bit about that right now because I do know that Scheana was the one to let Lala know the house was for sale next door, and she encouraged her to look at it. Scheana and Brock were fully aware that Lala was interested, and they were happy she was going to be their neighbors. I personally don't understand where Rachel is coming up with these claims, especially if she hasn't been around or in the loop with the group per se. I'm also pretty sure if Scheana or Brock did not want Lala to look at the home, they would never have mentioned it to her or encouraged her to go look at it. But we will get more on that later because I do actually have clips where Lala and Scheana are talking about the home from their Amazon Lives. Then Rachel is upset that she is broke and everyone is making money. Again, she just got out of a facility and can't get brand deals when you are in a facility where no one has any contact with you and you have no contact with the outside. And we will see later on if she does get more deals now that she is back at home and not in a facility where no one can contact her. Rachel claims the girls' trip was the hardest for her, and Lala and Christina mind-fucked her. Rachel talks about hippie Graham and his history with what happened to her mom and blames James to be the reason that Graham is even a biter. To me, Hippie seems pretty mellow and content where he is, and it seems that she was kind of being spiteful by saying those things and not wanting him to be a dog owner. Rachel regrets a lot. She doesn't think she could tell her story, especially on Bravo, without them cutting it down into 5 minutes. I hate to say it, but that's just how TV works. You can't have a 4-hour storytelling session and not have them cut it down to, say, an hour. Maybe she should look into doing maybe a documentary or a different show where she can tell her story. Rachel claims she asked for equal pay so she can make the same amount of money that Tom and Ariana are making. Now, my issue with this is that Tom and Ariana have been on the show from day one. And I do know that with contracts, it's all related on how long you've been a part of something, if you are a main character. They base pay off of multiple different things. Rachel has not been on the show from day one, and she came in as a side character, as someone's girlfriend, and last season was her official season where she was considered her own person and a main character in that sense. So that's why I don't think it would be fair if she got equal pay to Tom and Ariana. I do think that they should have increased her pay if she did want to go back. I also do believe that Bravo should pay for her treatment. That being said, there are some things that maybe should have been talked about with Bravo before her going into just any facility. I do know, like with workers' comp type cases, they have places that they prefer people going to help get that workers' comp that they deserve. They have different insurances that some places take and some don't, depending. So if she wanted Bravo to pay for her treatment in the beginning, I think she should have got a lawyer involved and figured out a place that Bravo would pay for her whole entire treatment. I do still think she should have her treatment covered. I just know that is going to be a factor when it comes up now, whether or not Bravo should or shouldn't pay. And that's just why I'm saying that as a perspective per se. And lastly, they go into how Rachel has a no contact order. This is not granted by the court though, that no cast talk to her. And she also talks about how she had a conversation with Lisa Vanderpump, and she thinks that Lisa used Hippie/Graham as bait to get her back. I do have the TMZ video of Lisa Vanderpump explaining her side, and I do know in the following days we will have more sides to everyone's story. At this point, we all know there are always 3 sides to a story. Yours, mine, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. So we need to take this into consideration. Alright everybody, stay tuned for my reaction video. I hope you all enjoyed this, and make sure to leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about this whole interview. I will be featuring comments in my reaction video, and I love hearing what you guys have to say regarding all of this as well. Please make sure to like this video and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I go live or post a new video or podcast. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I will be seeing you guys soon. Bye, everyone.